Good evening, everyone. Today is December the 12th, 2019. We're rapidly approaching 2020, and it is approximately 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry about that. This is episode, what is this? This is episode 32. And we're going to be discussing affiliate marketing and how you can increase sales by having an army of commission-only people promoting your website. And this works for whether you're selling digital products or whether you're selling physical products. But I'm gearing this towards e-commerce, not in the analog world. Doesn't pertain to brick and mortar shops. It's e-commerce only. So if you give me a few short moments, I will be right with you. You can see all the resources that I mentioned on the podcast at digipire.com/episode 32. You can find all of our podcasts or listen live at digipire.com/podcast. I'll be right with you. So once again, and it is freezing cold in my part of the country. Hope wherever you are staying warm and enjoying your holiday season. This will be actually the last show of the year, and we'll pick up again next year, sometime in January. I have to double check that for episode. We start on episode 33. We're going to take the holiday season off after tonight's show. You guys will have to hear me running my mouth all the time, preaching. But I just like to share, and actually I do like to teach. I like to show people, and I do like to teach. And I think that if I wasn't dealt the cards that I was dealt and pursued something else, I may have been a teacher or a librarian or something to that regard. But not, I would be a college professor or teacher, teach upper format. Just a second. So yeah, tonight we are going to discuss how to build an army of commission-only salespeople to sell your wares, whether they be digital or physical products or just whatever. And again, this is focusing on online shops, e-commerce sites. That'd be a harder sell to do. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if you can do a commission only in the analog world or not, brick and mortar world. Depends on your field, I suppose, and what you're selling. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but that's not what we're going to be discussing this evening. Then we're going to go over all news that is news. I'm going in technology and e-commerce and affiliate marketing. Then if time allows, I'm going to choose one or two of potential acquisitions that you may be interested in yourself, whether it might be an app, a website, or just whatever. I'm going to choose something out of my research database to go over, because I like to keep track of things that I may like to acquire that generate cash flow, and they are all or not created equal. Then I will answer some questions from a previous episode. And once again, you can ask questions of me at digipire.com. Ask, and I will try to get back with you. I usually try to answer everyone, it might take me a while, but I try to answer everyone because I don't get like a high volume of questions, of course, but I do try to answer everyone to some extent, depending on how involved their question is. So if you give me a few short moments, I will be right with you and we will get started. Okay, so I changed my phone number that I've had for over 15 years, probably maybe 17 years, I don't know. And I've had it a long time. And so I changed my phone number, and I, within a couple of days, started getting these phone calls, which I ignored, and these crazy text messages, basically commercial, advertisements for different stuff. And they would use the person's name, I guess the previous owner of the phone number. And of course, I never went to the links, which I plan to, but if I do that, I just have to set up a virtual machine to make sure it's not connected to anything important. The trick is to use a virtual machine. But anyway, I kept getting these calls, and they were from the area code that my new number's in, or the area code that my number's in. And so I thought, there's no one that has this number, because I've been very selective on who I've been giving it out to. Practically no one. I've tried to filter all my calls, because like a lot of people, I get a lot of junk and a lot of people that just wasting your time. So I was at Burger King yesterday eating by myself, and I decided to answer one of these calls. And it was a man, it sounded like an American man, had, perfect English, all that kind of thing. Not some, not typical of what you hear on the news and everything of these scammers overseas. So in my mind, I thought, okay, this is legit. He actually sounded kind of authoritative. Is that a word? He sounded like he had authority or something. So it's very, very curse, I guess. So he told me it was some I can't remember his exact name of it, but it's basically some profit or non-profit thing collecting money for police officers and firefighters and whatnot. And asked him for his website, because he wanted to know if I wanted to make. First, he asked for the person that owned the number, Bruce. He asked for Bruce, and I said, well, this isn't Bruce, and I'll get a lot of stuff for him, a lot of texts and things for him. And then he went on to say, well, maybe you can help me. So he was trying to get me to donate $25, $50 or whatever. And I asked him for his website. And so I said, just a second, and I immediately looked it up, and it looked like just scam written all over it. I didn't look into it a lot. I didn't have time, but it just looked scammy. And it didn't look like it was only up and up. It was actually in one of the papers in my state, that in one of the local papers in my state, not my local to where I'm from, but local to the state, or it's a state paper, and that website popped up on that as a scam site, as a scam problem site. And and then I had another call this morning that I decided to answer, because keep in mind, I don't have, very, very few people have my new number, actually maybe two. And I know all the numbers that they're going to be calling from. Everyone else gets my other numbers that I have to filter my calls. And so I knew that it wasn't them. So I answered it, and it was an automated message from a robot that said, this is the Social Security, blah, 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 something about criminal, blah, blah, going to jail, blah, blah, if you don't do this or that, press 1 to be connected. And I thought, oh my God, I mean, it just blew me away that people are scamming people in the name of these government entities. I mean, Social Security, they do it for the IRS. I mean, I would get letters from that. I mean, just scam stuff. I mean, it just really, really blows me away. And it's the message sounds very intimidating and very matter of fact and whatnot. So it was scary. And if I didn't know any better, I could see where people would, would be scared and just ruin their day. If you're doing that kind of stuff, that's bad, 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 bad. And I hope the people that they're engaging in that kind of activity get what they deserve. I mean, that's just awful, awful, awful to do people that way. And, I don't know who they prey on. I don't know who the person that had this number, what his deal was or what he's about or how he got on these lists or whatever. But it's just ridiculous. And I have no sympathy. And I'm an empathetic person. And I have no empathy for people who take full advantage of people like that, trying to scare, using scare tactics to get their money. So anyway, that's my rant for today. I'm actually have a section on our website digipire.com where I research spam and text messages of this sort. I'll break it down into search engine spam, text message spam, phone calls, search engine spam, just all kinds of different ways that people manipulate, which I'm not putting search engine spam and that kind of thing or email spam in the same category as what these people are doing, but just different ways that people are manipulating the system. And I'm not saying that there's a fine line between. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. Anyway, I'm not going to. There's white hat, there's gray hat, and there's black hat, and I'm not going to. And it's not necessarily a good or evil. Not all of the black hat's evil, and not all the white hat is good. So anyway, I'm going to continue on with the news. Then I'm going to enter some questions that you guys have had from a previous episode. Then I'm going to see if I can go over a couple of websites, e-commerce shops that I might be interested in. Actually, I'm not in the market to buy these two right now, but you might be interested. I'm going to analyze them for a couple of minutes. Then we're going to discuss episode 32. How to build an army of affiliates selling your wares, an army of commission-only workers selling your wares. I'll be right with you. Now for the news. This first piece of news comes from retaildive.com, and it Returnly announces instant exchanges for Shopify Plus. If you're in e-commerce or you own an online shop, or if you own a shop in the brick and mortar arena, you know that returns are a big part of your cost. It costs a lot of money to deal with returns and customers that return and all that kind of thing. And you can't, depending on the product, you can't sell it for what you originally had sold it for. So Returnly tries to soften that blow when you get a return, and they work with Shopify Plus. I'm going to give you a brief summary of everything it does or what it's about. Returnly last week launched Instant Gift Exchange for Shopify Plus. The program allows gift recipients to select an alternative gift before returning their original gift, according to a company press release. Returnly data shows the rate of repurchase increased 3 times the industry average when shoppers could use their return credit to buy again before shipping their returns back. This levels the field for digital native brands who are traditionally at a disadvantage with big retailers that can re-engage customers during the holidays and physical locations, the release noted. Direct-to-consumer brands offering this option include Outdoor Voices, Untuckit, Gorham Brothers, Faraday Brand, and Co-io. I never heard of those last two. So I can assure you I've heard of Returnly, but of course I've never dived into it. It's something that usually larger companies use. But I went to their website, and
you have to request information. They don't have like a price sheet or uh, that kind of thing like traditional software as a service type websites have. So you have to schedule a demo. And I can assure you that if you're having to schedule a demo, then it's pretty expensive. I would venture to say, even though that I like I said personally, I haven't looked into it yet. I haven't looked to see how much it costs or what kind of thing. I know that the big boys and girls use it, and not the little folk like myself. And that's, by the way, that's something that a lot of people are a lot of companies like software, especially software as a service type companies, they're wanting to get you on the phone. I've a lot of people that I have dealt with over the years, all the companies, want to get me on the phone and try to sell me something because their conversion rates are a lot higher. And like I mentioned the last week on the podcast, episode 31, online jewelry stores are doing that as well. So a lot of e-commerce sites, so they're selling physical products, are trying to get people on the phone because it increases conversions. Who would have thought that going back to basics, getting people on the phone? But that's what's going on because, like I said, conversions increase when you actually talk to the person on the phone. That's not. I don't think it works for everything, but a lot of things it does. It depends on you're not going to be able to talk to someone on the phone and make it work financially if you know if you're selling a $10 or $20 product, unless you have a funnel that's worth hundreds or thousands, or you have to. If you're going to do that, you have to. Especially if you're selling a digital product, you want to have a funnel. Now, I'm not sure if it would work if you're selling inexpensive items. Jewelry is expensive, so they have a lot of leeway, and the margins are greater, so they have a lot of leeway in what they can do. So, yeah, they are working with Shopify to manage your returns, and Shopify, I mentioned a few episodes ago, also now has a system similar to Amazon FBA that you can ship your inventory directly to them. And I can tell you that, I mean, I use Amazon FBA myself, and that is so nice. It's so nice just to work once, get your stuff out, ship it to Amazon, and be done with it. I mean, you just don't know how nice it is and fulfilling it is to get it done. It's so nice to take that stuff to mailboxes, etc., and ship it out and let Amazon take care of the rest. But you got to do your numbers. You have to make sure that what you're buying will be able to so you want to be able to make sure you make a profit on it. I mean, if you're selling, if you are paying it too much for a product, Amazon and their fees can really eat into your profit. So you really have to have your numbers down nice and tight, or you can potentially lose. But I've found that Amazon, there's advantages and disadvantages to both, of course, but I have found that products turn over a lot faster on Amazon than it does on eBay. And of course, when you sell on eBay, you got to take care of all that stuff yourself, the customer service, the packing, and all that yourself, or whether you have people that help you or not. And on eBay, you typically get paid immediately, whereas Amazon, you have to wait 2 weeks typically. Although there are services that will front you the money if you have, depending on what your balance is on Amazon, but it can be expensive to do that. So yeah. Anyways, that is Amazon and Returnly. And if you give me a few short seconds, I'll be right with you, and we'll continue with the news. Hope you guys are staying warm out there. It is so cold. Okay, this next piece of news comes from RetailDive.com, and its headline is eBay to sell StubHub for over $4 billion in cash. StubHub, of course, is a ticket vendor, and I'm going to give you like a little side note here. Uh, that was one of the first ebooks that I had bought. Was back a long, long, long time ago. It was about making money, basically flipping tickets. You would buy tickets on you'd sign up for tickets from you'd sign up for tickets from, like, for Stevie Nicks as an example that they used in the the in the ebook back 20 years ago. They said buy tickets from Stevie Nicks fan site or whatever because they give them first access to the tickets and you can buy them cheaper usually and all that kind of thing and at a discount and sign up for all these bands and singers fan clubs and you get first dibs on the tickets and then you resell them on eBay. So that was one of my first little hustles back in the day. So I thought that was pretty neat. So anyway, dive brief. eBay announced on Monday that it agreed to sell StubHub to ticket vendor Viagogo for 4.05 billion in cash, according to a company press release. Cash. Wouldn't that be nice to have 4.05 billion in cash? Everyone wouldn't even know what to do with that kind of money. The deal is expected to close by the end of the first quarter of 2020, pending regulatory approval and customary closing conditions. We believe this transaction is a great outcome and maximizes long-term value for eBay shareholders, eBay's interim CEO Scott Schenkel said in a statement. So the acquisition of StubHub is a full circle moment for Viagogo CEO Eric Baker because he co-founded it in business school and left prior to eBay's acquisition of the company in 2007 for $310 million. I wonder how much he got to keep of that. It has long been my wish to unite the two companies. I am so proud of how StubHub has grown over the years and excited about the possibilities for our shared future, Baker said in the statement. During a conference call with analysts in July, eBay's then CEO Devin Wenig hinted at a possible sale of both its StubHub and classified business. We're making significant progress in actively reviewing the role and value of StubHub and classifieds in our portfolio, he said at the time. eBay announced in early fall that Wenig, I'm not sure how you say his name, was stepping down from his role as CEO, with Scott Schenkel taking over in the interim. eBay's third quarter earnings report at the end of October revealed that StubHub's revenue increased 5% from the year-ago period to $306 million, even as the company reported that total revenue was flat year-over-year. When combined, Viagogo and StubHub will sell tickets across more than 70 countries. Pretty neat stuff. And so that reminds me, when it said classifieds, that Yahoo Groups is shutting down. And Yahoo Groups is old, it was been around a long, long time, and people are all in an uproar over it deleting all of the content. It's no longer going to host the content on its servers, on its site. So they're deleting all the content, and people were frantically trying to save all their communities. I mean, these people have built these communities over a platform that the new owners may or may not keep. I mean, that's the problem. It's almost like building a business or building a house on sinking sand. You just never know when it's just going to collapse. And the problem was, I think it was pretty crappy, pretty bad, pretty shitty of Verizon to do this. They were blocking people from downloading all the content. I mean, some of these groups have over 15, 20 years of information, and they were just deleting it. They were blocking people from downloading all of it. And I had a group on there that I had abandoned years ago. It was probably 10 years ago, and it has over 3,500 members now. And I guess it had grown. I just noticed that today. Actually, I was looking at all my groups on my Yahoo account. Like I said, I haven't paid attention to them for years and years and years. And I used to use it, to drive leads and drive traffic to some of my websites, and it worked really well. And then it got to be a hassle, and I had other better ways with less hassle to get traffic. So anyway, I abandoned them, and it's crazy. I made some of them like 2005, 2004, 2003, and it's not showing any of the content, of course. But if you go to the info tab, it shows how many messages were posted and the date the group was created and all that kind of thing. And it's neat to see, long after I had abandoned it, that it still had a lot of activity. It gives you the calendars of all of the different. It gives you the calendar of each year, going back to when the group first came online, of all of the posts. I used to post on it like crazy, and it shows you the number of posts up until the now. It just won't show you any of the content. It won't show you what was. It won't show you what was there. It won't show you the post or anything. So that kind of sucks. I would like to have had all that. I should have downloaded it, but I never did, and I guess I waited too late. But you still are allowed to use the email address to send. So it's basically going to be it can still be used as a listserv, and you can mail or you can email your group and all that kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly how all that's going to work. I mean, they can join the group, and you can, like I said, you can use it as a listserv, and it's just not going to host any of the content on their website. So it's Yahoo Groups is dead, but not dead, if you know what I mean. You can still use it, but it's not going to be quite the same. I'm not sure if they're going to keep like a directory of the groups or what. I don't know. It'll be interesting. You can go to groups.yahoo.com or look for it on Google and find out more about it if you are interested. It is a good way to email a bunch of people because Yahoo usually escapes the spam filters, and that's exactly how I drove traffic. So people wouldn't really visit the group necessarily, but they would check their email. So Yahoo Groups was a really good way to build an email list because, like I said, it escaped the spam filters for the most part, and it drove a healthy amount of traffic for a long time, probably from 2002 to I think I stopped using it maybe 2007, 2008, and I stopped. I started moving on to other things. I still used it as I, I used it. I started using it less and less as the years went on, and so yeah, Yahoo Groups no more. And I'm not sure if you can find some of the archived groups online somewhere. I'm not sure how successful they were. I know a lot of people were trying to archive as much as they possibly could. So you just have to look for that online. And moving on, if you just give me a few seconds, I will be right with you. Just one moment, please, and we'll continue with the news. So this also comes from retaildive.com, and the headline is Nike to stop selling on Amazon. Nike will stop selling its products on Amazon, according to a company statement emailed to Retail Dive. This is actually several weeks old. I'm just now getting, which I already knew it, but I'm just now relaying it to you guys. That the retailer will continue to use Amazon Web Services for its website and mobile apps. Bloomberg first reported the news. As part of Nike's focus on elevating consumer experiences through more direct, personal relationships, we made the decision to complete our current pilot with Amazon Retail, a Nike spokesperson told Retail Dive in an email. The decision ends a 2-year pilot with Amazon, which began as a means to prevent counterfeit Nike products from being sold on the marketplace. And they did have a big problem with that. I noticed a lot of products that, Nike products that they were selling that Nike didn't even produce really. They were they were found on AliExpress. What was the name of that one site? What was the name of that? iOffer. I think it's iOffer.com. iOffer shut down their entire. A lot of people were selling counterfeit goods on iOffer from China, and they were selling Nike shoes that Nike didn't even make, to my knowledge, unless they had them. They sold them over in other countries in Europe or whatever. But sometimes they do that. But yeah, they shut down a lot of them, and so Nike is no longer selling on Amazon. So I'm gonna mention one more, and this also goes with counterfeit goods. Fake goods. This comes from RetailDive.com again. Fake goods surface in up to 60% of Google product searches, study says. Google was among the search engines that show fake and possibly dangerous counterfeit goods in as many as 60% of their search results, putting consumers at risk, per a study by intellectual property and brand protection company Incopro. The firm is demanding that Google, Bing, Baidu, and Yandex remove search results that says harm consumers and undermine brands. The potentially dangerous fake goods include car parts, pharmaceuticals, toys, appliances, and safety equipment, and so on and on and on and on and on. You can find all of these news pieces I mentioned at retaildive.com, and we're not going to have time to go over my little spam research thing that I was gonna pull a couple of text messages and websites that I received and tell you a little bit about them and how they're making money and what their end goal is. And I was going to go over a couple of websites that may be potential acquisitions that looked promising. Even if I don't buy it, maybe it would be something that you guys out there may be interested in. So I'm not going to have time to do that tonight because we're not going to be able to go over the topic at hand. I only have 45 minutes to spend with you guys. I just have so much to say and so little time to say it in. So if you just give me a few moments, I will be right with you. Okay, so episode 32, how to build an army of commission-only salespeople. And I'm going to break this down into two different types of e-commerce shops, the two most popular ways to build an e-commerce site. And that is opening a Shopify store, or if you have built your e-commerce site, or if you bought it, you purchased the website, and it is built using WordPress. And WordPress using like the WooCommerce plugin, which is a popular one, and some affiliate manager websites or affiliate manager plugins. And I'm going to go over the tools that you can use for each one, some tips, some resources for each one, and all that kind of thing. I'm going to assume that you know how to build an e-commerce store, or you already have one, or you know someone who can build it for you, or you're in the process or whatever. I do highly recommend that if you have no web building experience and you want to keep it as you want to minimize your risk, I recommend that you go with Shopify. It's more straightforward, and it's easier to build it out yourself using their plugins and their products than to go with a WordPress site. But I do recommend that if you either way that you go, whether you're building it or buying it, that you take a couple of online classes that will teach you the ins and outs of each one, because it's very easy to get lost in the chaos of making money online outside of platforms like eBay and Amazon and all that kind of thing. And this is actually something that I recommend for people that have already graduated from selling on eBay or Amazon or whatnot and want to expand their e-commerce footprint, so to speak, I guess. If setting up your own shop can be very time consuming, very expensive, and you can lose your rear end if you don't know what you're doing. And you can do it. You can even do that when you sell on eBay or Amazon. But at least when you're buying products you sell on eBay or Amazon, you have a physical product that you can liquidate in some way. Whereas if you have a lot of time and energy put into building an e-commerce shop on your own, where you have to get your own traffic and get your own customers, it is a lot different and a lot riskier. It's very similar to, and I compare a lot of my online experiences or my online journey to its analog counterpart when I had a brick and mortar shop, a thrift shop of sorts, back several years ago. And I had a lot of overhead, and I was basically trying to turn it. I had a lot of different plans for it, but hold on just a second. But regardless, I would recommend, if starting out, selling on eBay or Amazon and buying product to resell there before you venture into something like this. Because like I said, it can be very risky. So I'm going to get started with the beginner's guide to setting up an affiliate program for your Shopify store first. And then I'm going to go into doing the same with your WordPress installation, your website, your e-commerce site driven by the WordPress platform using WooCommerce and associated plugins. So if you give me just a few short moments, I will be right with you. Okay, so now I'm going to discuss if your website, your e-commerce website, is built on the WordPress platform. And again, I'm going to assume that you know how to, or know someone who does, to install plugins, and you have a great product that you're selling, and your website is all built out, and all that kind of stuff. So the next thing you want to do is you need to choose the right affiliate platform or plugin that is right for you. There are pros and cons to everything, and hold on a second. If you choose a platform like ShareSell, that means that your affiliate program will be housed outside of your WordPress installation, even though the products that you're selling may be housed there. So if you choose a plugin, then everything, both product and the affiliate program, will be run from the WordPress admin. Of course, there are pros and cons to each approach. Whatever you do end up choosing, though, will define how you go about the rest of the process, which is why I'm going to discuss and describe the most popular affiliate platforms and plugins now. So they're pretty easy to install, and again, if you're on a network, this won't apply to you as much. You will need to upload your feed and all that, and that's for another time. If and that might be what's best for you, that you go with a network, and if you have the funds and can absorb the risk of doing so. So the next thing you want to do is recruit affiliates to represent your product and your brand. The platforms that I'm going to talk about are built-in networks of affiliate marketers that you can search and invite to promote your products, whatever you're selling. There's one huge advantage to working with a platform over a plugin. You can really hit the ground running because they promote for you, and they basically advertise their, your affiliate program to their thousands or hundreds of thousands of affiliates, and you can gain a lot of ground. You can, did I say that correctly? You can cover a lot of ground a lot quicker if you do that. If you choose not to, hold on a minute. If you choose not to, then you'll be responsible for recruiting your affiliates yourself, which is the same as when I discussed about Shopify. You can recruit them on FameBit. You can recruit them on YouTube, Facebook, do it yourself. You can hire, virtual assistants to do it for you. But you want to make your affiliate program landing page as professional looking as possible. And Elegant Themes has an excellent affiliate program landing page that you can use in conjunction with your whatever WordPress template that you're using. And the StudioPress also has a good affiliate program landing page, and it will give the affiliate, the person the pay per action, what's the word I'm looking for? Will give the person that is going to sign up for your affiliate program everything that they need to know. And so you want to set up your landing page, and I'll put the links to the resources that I recommend on the episode page at digipire.com/episode 32. It's not up right now. Just give me a couple of days by the end of the weekend, and I will have all of the resources up for you. I fell behind this week, and I don't have my stuff quite together yet. Hold on just a second. So as I mentioned, some of the platforms that you can use are ShareSell, another one's Impact Radius, and a few of the affiliate plugins that I recommend are Affiliate WP. And some of the key features of Affiliate WP are you can have unlimited affiliates.
You have reliable affiliate tracking, affiliates dashboard, real-time reporting, and you are in complete control of the entire system. Registrations, affiliate reports, custom coupon codes, custom referral rates, percentage or flat rate. Is compatible with popular payment gateways, PayPal, Stripe. It integrates easily with easy digital downloads, WooCommerce, Gravity Forms, Paid Memberships Pro, and a lot of other popular plugins. And it's also very inexpensive at $49 for one site. Another one I recommend is WordPress Affiliate Manager. It's pretty much it's a lot different. It's a freemium or $30 for one site. You can get started with it very inexpensively. You know, a lot of consideration, time, and effort go into launching and maintaining a successful affiliate program. There's so many platforms and plugins out there that are geared towards different types of people and business needs that if you ever created and run your own affiliate program with WordPress or on a platform like Carousel or Impact Radius, I'd like to hold on just a second. I'm sorry, just a second. Okay. You just have so many options, and again, whether you have a Shopify store or a WordPress-driven website, it will depend on your course of action. If you have any questions for me, if you want to shoot me an email, you can do so, or you can ask on the website at digipire.com/ask. If you have anything that you want to share with me, or anything that you want to ask regarding anything that I've ever mentioned on the Digipire podcast, affiliate marketing, technology, or e-commerce in general, and I do try to get back with you. I try to get back with everyone. Sometimes I'm slow, but I don't have the volume of mail that a lot of people have, so I usually can get back with everyone. It might take me a while, but I do usually. Okay, folks, that's going to do it for me this year. I will see you back here, same time, same place, on January the 16th for episode 33. You can catch all of our podcasts at digipire.com/podcast. You can find the resources to this podcast at digipire.com/episode 32. I wish you and yours a happy holiday, whatever you may be celebrating and wherever you may be in the world. And I hope you find happiness, truth, and all of that kind of thing. And I hope Santa or whomever brings you everything that you want and you have a wonderful and a safe new year. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.